Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and sing the national anthems of the Republic of Indonesia and the Kingdom of the Netherlands. You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and participants, welcome to the Winner 2023 conference. It's a pleasure to see such a diverse and esteemed gathering of individuals here in Indonesia, in Jakarta, and the Netherlands. The Winner program, which stands for Week of Indonesia Education and Research, embodies a commitment to foster collaboration, research, and education in a wide range of topics that are mutual interest to Indonesia and the Netherlands. Our focus revolves around sustainable development goals, reflecting a shared dedication to addressing some of the world's most pressing challenges. Winner is proudly brought to you by the Kingdom of the Netherlands and the Republic of Indonesia. Representing the Netherlands are the Embassy of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Jakarta, Nuffic Neso Southeast Asia, the Royal Netherlands Academy of Arts and Sciences, or KNAW, and the Dutch Research Council, or NWO. And representing Indonesia are the National Research and Innovation Agency, or BRIN, the Ministry of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology, and the Indonesian Academy of Young Sciences, or ALMI. And I am Avi Eliana, an Associate Professor in Gender Studies and Director of Office of International Affairs of Universitas Negeri Malang, member of ALMI, present here in Jakarta with you. Okay, I will be one of the co-moderators today. I would like to give a warm welcome to my new co-host, who is joining us from The Hague. Sarah, are you there?
Yes, Avi.
Hi,
Terima kasih
Sarah.
banyak.
Over to you.
Yes. Terima kasih, Avi. Bapak dan Ibu, terima kasih. Thank you very much for joining this winter event today. All the best from the Netherlands. My name is Sarah Ida Spronk. I'm the coordinator for innovation and health at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. But I also had the pleasure to work in Indonesia for 2.5 years, and I'm very excited to see the progress that has been made over the last few years in the mutual collaborations in research. It's important to recall and appreciate that there is a rich history of collaboration between the Netherlands and Indonesia. The impact of this research is one of the key topics of today that will be discussed in panels, by videos and other matchmaking events. And we do not only look at the impact of research, but also what can be done to strengthen this collaboration and to strengthen the knowledge connectivity between our two countries. Even more than that, it's not only about connecting Indonesia and the Netherlands, but also to strengthen the impact of research on the regions that we're based in. That is very timely since Indonesia is now the chair of ASEAN and the Netherlands is a permanent part of the European Union. So within our countries, as gateways to the region, we do not only strengthen collaboration between the two of us, but also between our mutual regions.
Yeah, and I guess
I think, yes, over to you, Avi.
And I guess that's why this year's theme is enhancing knowledge connectivity of research and education between Indonesia and the Netherlands for regional impacts. As mentioned by Sarah, we're expecting impacts not only for both countries, but also the regions we're in, which is ASEAN and also the European Union. And this conference provides a unique platform for these dedicated individuals to come together to learn about each other's work, which we have done since yesterday, share our best practices, and most importantly, identify opportunities for collaboration between the two countries. And by forging new partnerships and strengthening the existing ones, we can create a more sustainable and prosperous future for us together.
Yes, then now it's time for the audience to become involved and to let us know a little bit more about yourselves. And to do so, we have a little, online interview, I would call. So, first question, is this your first winner experience?
Yeah, you can actually log into AHA Slides. You can join at ahaslides.com and then /SP, what is that? Sorry, I didn't see that. SF6BL, or you can actually screen the code there and then answer the question. Is it your first winner? Because this is actually our fourth winner, and we want to see how many people are returnees. It's moving. Oh, first winner, we've got 5, counting, yeah, no means that this is not your first winner. Audience in the, audience online through Hopin, you can also participate in this online survey. It's a quick survey. We want to know whether it is your first winner experience or not. Okay, so yeah, mostly it is first winner experience for everyone. I think we have a second question. Okay. The second question.
Yes.
Yeah. The second question
I think
was
it was
Is it your
a
first
nice
winner
balance.
experience? Is it a nice balance, do you think? Of first
Well, I think we
timer?
saw around
Uh-huh.
15 that already attended before, so
Yeah.
they have decided to come back, which is
Yeah?
very good news.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
about double the amount who are participating in
Yeah.
for the first time.
Yeah, yeah.
And indeed, we do have a second question. In
Yeah.
one word, what motivated you to participate?
Yeah, we can see the
Whether it
cloud.
be
Yeah,
for...
the word cloud is moving here. Can you see that, Sarah?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I see very big in the middle collaboration.
Yeah. Is it
And a
an
lot of
answer
words
you expect?
revolving around,
Yeah.
but the essence seems
Yeah.
to be collaboration.
Is it also, the biggest motivation for you, Sarah?
To work together
Yeah.
with people
Yeah.
in Indonesia,
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Me too. Me too. Oh yeah, it's tense. Collaboration. Maybe can I invite audience to elaborate a little bit why collaboration is central in your motivation? Can I ask audience here in Jakarta? We've got a lot of people here, Sarah, maybe hundreds.
Oh, I'm so happy. I wish I could be there with you. But I'm
Yeah,
there in
we'd
spirit.
love to. Maybe next winter. Okay, audience here in Jakarta, anyone would like to elaborate why collaboration is central in your motivation? Anyone? Oh yes, of course. Yes, you can stand up so that everyone can hear you. Anyone, please, microphone. Yes. Thank you, Inti.
Thank you very much, Inti.
Why collaboration is
My
central?
name
Yep.
is Jeroen Sparla. I'm the
Yep.
Managing Director of Academic Transfer in the Netherlands.
Mm-hmm.
And I think collaboration is the very, very essence of doing research all over the world.
Yep.
And without any collaboration partners, I think doing research just on a national level wouldn't bring the world where we are today.
Yeah, yeah. It's so central because the world's issues are becoming more and more complex.
Absolutely.
We cannot do it alone to solve them,
Absolutely.
right?
We need
Yep.
each other. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely.
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Sarah, now it's over to you to introduce the video remarks.
Thank you, Avi. Ladies and gentlemen, to begin our session, we are going to listen to 3 video remarks that have been kindly provided and shared by the following 3 persons. I will introduce all of them because the videos will be played in a row. First of all, we will see the video of His Excellency Nadiem Makarim, the Indonesian Minister for Education, Culture, Research and Technology. Secondly, we will watch a video from His Excellency Robert Dijkgraaf, the Dutch Minister for Education, Culture and Science. And thirdly, last but not least, we will see the video of His Excellency Dr. Laksana Trihandoko, Master of Science and Head of BRIN. Please enjoy these videos that will be shared with you right now.
Minister of Education, Culture, Science of the Kingdom of Netherlands, Mr. Robert Dijkgraaf, Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands, Mr. Lambert Grains, Chairman of the National Research and Innovation Agency of Indonesia, Mr. Laksana Trihandoko, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great pleasure to be back in this setting, the week of Indonesia-Netherlands Research and Education, or WINNER. The continued organization of WINNER symbolizes the commitment between Indonesia and the Netherlands in pursuing stronger partnerships for the benefit of the education sector. We realize that Indonesia has to take a big leap if we want to improve the quality of education. And one of the most fundamental changes we embarked on is with the Emancipated Learning campaign, which blurs the boundaries between academia and industries and enhances cross-sector collaboration to spark innovative solutions. More than 760,000 students have left campus to learn in a variety of project-based experiences within other organizations. They are pursuing internships, entrepreneurship, independent study, social projects, even student exchanges. We've also released a matchmaking platform for universities and industry to conduct joint research to be supported by our matching fund scheme. And since its first release in 2021, we have funded more than 2,000 collaborative projects that support the country's research priorities of green economy, blue economy, tourism, digital technology, health, and other STEM-related subjects. Besides cross-sector collaboration, strengthening international collaboration and international cooperation has served as one of our primary strategies in improving the education sector. The bilateral relationship between Indonesia and the Netherlands, especially in education, has been moving in a very favorable direction. Under the International Student Exchange Program of ISMA and ISMA for Tibet, a total of 204 Indonesian students have received an invaluable opportunity to experience quality learning in 9 world-class universities in the Netherlands, enlisted as program hosts. The cross-cultural exchange among our students is a key aspect in the enhancement of knowledge connectivity between Indonesia and the Netherlands. And this paves the way for collaborative innovation that will transcend generations. With our strong commitment and political will to strengthen our cooperation, I believe we can accelerate the improvement of human resources through quality education and quality research. And with 2023 winner, let's connect and create more with the spirit of collaboration. Thank you very much.
Excellencies, honorable guests, and dear participants. Knowledge is the only resource that grows in use. So I'm convinced that our shared knowledge will grow significantly over the next 3 days at this year's Winner Conference. It has been a year since the last edition of this conference, and a lot has happened since then. One highlight was the start of our Education and Science Attaché in Indonesia, as part of our international knowledge and talent strategy. In the next 3 days, we will strengthen and intensify our collaboration even further and allow our shared knowledge to flourish even more, which is crucial in this day and age, a time where knowledge is vital to address and solve current societal challenges, such as climate change or how to deal responsibly with AI. And we need knowledge in all shapes and sizes, from solid education to fundamental research and applied sciences from all scientific fields. Not only are all different types of knowledge necessary, we also need everyone to address these challenges and to find solutions within their own sphere of influence, from academia to businesses, NGOs, and public organizations. And we need to look beyond our own borders, because today's societal challenges know no boundaries. That's why international cooperation is key. Only by working together can we come up with solutions to global challenges and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, shaping a more sustainable, resilient world in the future. That's why it's important that we seek each other out, not only for the next 3 days, but also during the rest of the year. Fortunately, Indonesia and the Netherlands are doing just that. This year marks the 4th edition of Winner. 4 years in which our cooperation has continued to grow, and we took on countless projects together, further strengthening our bond. A bond that only grows stronger over time, as we continue to find mutual projects, such as the Living Lab for renewable energy transition and climate change mitigation. This lab represents a dynamic platform driving innovative student-led projects focused on urgent environmental issues. It will facilitate collaboration between different parties, contributing to a sustainable path forward for both Indonesia and the Netherlands. This 4th edition of Winner will revolve around the regional impact within our countries and beyond. As I said before, knowledge is the only resource that grows in use. Therefore, we must involve everyone, including our regions, to make our collective knowledge grow exponentially and to find the best solutions to today's societal challenges. Together, we can achieve real change. So let's use the next few days to listen to each other, to exchange our knowledge, experiences, and to learn from each other, so we can build a more resilient and sustainable future together. I wish you all an inspiring winner conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya Sambajikan. Very good morning for all of you. I'm delighted that this year marks 4 years of winner as the forum for researchers, policymakers, and all stakeholders from Indonesia and also Netherlands to strengthen the collaboration in research and education. Bringing the theme of enhancing knowledge connectivity of research and education between Indonesia and the Netherlands for regional impact, I do believe both countries will drive positive changes and development on the collaboration in research, innovation, and education. This concept encompasses various aspects and may be achieved through several strategies and initiatives. The first one is the academic collaboration and partnerships. And BRIN, in this regard, has established research-based mobility program across several schemes, such as degree by research for master and in particular PhD students, the research assistantship program, postdoctoral fellowship, and also visiting researchers and visiting professorship. These schemes provide generic platform to allow cross-border people-to-people interaction at the grassroots level. Secondly, the funding and research grants. BRIN has a role as the funding agency in this country, in Indonesia. We are managing all research funding, either coming from the state budget and also the endowment fund managed by LPDP. In this regard, BRIN is inviting all partner countries, funding agencies, and also non-governmental organizations to develop joint call and or joint funding to support certain research topics in particular in which the research activities are conducted in Indonesia. And the last one, Research Collaboration Center. Indonesia and Netherlands could also establish research collaboration centers in specific topics, and this would provide a sustained platform by joining currently available resources from both sides and involving several parties, including the local universities. BRIN has established a scheme of international collaboration center for hosting such joint institution under a long-term contract up to 7 years, which is also renewable but subject to annual review. Enhancing knowledge connectivity between Indonesia and the Netherlands may not only strengthen bilateral relationship but also contribute to addressing common regional challenges. This collaboration has the potential to drive collaborative research in many fields, innovation, economic growth, and sustainable development, ultimately benefiting the well-being of the people in the region. To conclude my remark, I wish all of you successful 4th edition of Winner in the year of 2023, and may all of you have productive, impactful, and fruitful discussion. Thank you very much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Santi 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 Om.
We appreciate the remarks, Minister Makarim, Minister Dijkgraaf, and also Dr. Handoko. Again, collaboration came up as a very strong point in the 3 remarks given by ministers and also Dr. Handoko. Collaboration will lead to quality education and research, and thus quality generation. And international collaborations is very much in need to solve complex regional and also global problems to lead to a sustainable future. Winner is thus very relevant as a seedling pot and also nurturing house for the collaboration to start and also to flourish. To officially mark the opening of Winner, the 4th Winner this year, I would like to invite Professor Nizam, Yvonne Clerks, and Peter van Tahil to come on stage to strike the gong. They're hitting it together. Let's count. 3, 2, 1. This should symbolize the connection, the strong connection between Indonesia and the Netherlands in the realm of education and research. Pak Nizam, Bu Yvonne, and also Pak Peter, please stay on the stage for a photo session. You may be seated. Thank you. Terima kasih Pak Nizam, Bu Yvonne, dan juga Pak Peter. We're very excited for these upcoming days. I can't really wait to dive into all the activities that we planned. Let us open Winter 2023, and what a way to start the program with inspiring keynote speeches. So now we're going to get into the next section of this opening, which is interactive discussion on the knowledge collaboration between Indonesia and the Netherlands and the policy on rewards and recognition of researchers in both countries. Sarah, do you want to introduce the topic?
Yes, thank you very much. The topic of this next discussion is how to find a balance between all the different tasks of academics, which includes education, research, public engagement, impact on societies, entrepreneurship, academic leadership, as well as in the case of health patient care, which is quite a burden for an individual. So what can we do to maintain a view across the whole width of academic work and to appreciate talented individuals for rewarding their achievements in such domains as just specified. Over to you, Avi.
And of course, thank you, Sarah. And to talk about this topic, we definitely have two great speakers. Our first speaker is, of course, Professor Nizam, Director General of Higher Education, Research and Technology from KemendikbudRistek. And then, Sarah, will you introduce our second speaker?
Yes, thank you, Avi. From our side, I would like to introduce Professor Margot Wijnen, who is working for the Dutch Research Council, or the NWO, and also the chair domain, or the chair for the domain Engineering and Applied Sciences from our part. She will be participating online.
All right, thank you, Sarah. I'd like to invite Prof. Nizam to come forward and sit with me at the front to deliver his thoughts about this topic, Sarah. Is Margot ready as well? Online? Silakan, Pak. Bapak ada slide? Sudah, siap. Okay. So, Prof. Nizam slide is ready? Okay. Pak Nizam, you will have about 10 minutes.
I'll try.
Yeah. Well, we can be a little bit over. That's fine. I think audience won't mind.
Thank you very much. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Pak Peter, Bu Yvonne, Pak Faiz, Pak Benny, colleagues from many academicians from Indonesia and the Netherlands, and also from NWO, KNAW, University of Amsterdam, University of Groningen, ISS Rotterdam, University Twente, also Sarah over there. First of all, semangat pagi. Semangat pagi, bukan selamat pagi. Semangat pagi, salam sehat, salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Good afternoon. It's an honor for me to stand before you to share with you the development of higher education, especially in our effort to strengthen the collaborations between our academia with industries and also to collaborate globally. So I would like to share with you my short presentations. Hopefully I can manage in 10 minutes. Where is it?
Which one is the computer operating it?
I think it's too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just please, next slide. Yeah, so just to preview about Indonesia higher education system, currently we have more than 4,000 higher education institutions, way too many actually, with 9 million students in higher education. It's quite a big number, from Aceh to Papua, and they are the pools of talents. Slide. We also have 300,000 lecturers. Well, in facing the challenge of today and the future, we know that the dynamics of the professions, the dynamic of the workforce, the dynamic of the job market is very, very high, especially with the development of IT, with AI, and all things that are coming. Many jobs are disappearing. We realize that. According to McKinsey, 23 million jobs will be disappear in Indonesia alone in the next 10 years. So that's more than the number of graduates that we produce every year, 1.7 million. We produce 1.7 million graduates from our universities and polytechnics every year. And the number of job losses every year is more than that. 2.5 million jobs will be disappearing. But as with all industrial revolutions, new jobs can be created with competencies that is no one knows as of today. So that the number of jobs that can be created is double the number of job losses. So, but unfortunately, many of those jobs is not yet with us today. So it is a real challenge for us at university, how we prepare our competencies of our graduates for a job that nobody knows. We have to prepare them with something that no one knows what will be our world in the next 5 years. If we reflect back 5 years back, perhaps if we truly reflects, we observe that many things are happening. From malls that usually very vibrant now is closing one by one. We see banking system now goes to our cell phone. So it's many things, even professions that is very mature, that is very settled, now being challenged by technology, by automations, by robotics, by AI. So how to prepare our graduates to do that? What we do is to transform our higher education system. One of the most difficult institutions to transform, everybody told me that university is one institution that is already there for thousands of years and very difficult to change. We still set our university back to the third industrial revolutions. We prepare like nut and bolts for the industries, nut and bolts for the economy, nuts and bolts for the social development. When everything's now become multidisciplinary, everything now become more complex and need collaborations between disciplines. Multidisciplinary will be a way to solve things. So how do we do that is by transforming our university. How we do that? By giving students the rights to spend 3 semesters out of their study programs. Let's shake it. So they can spend from that 3 semesters, 2 semesters out of campus. Let them learn from the campus of life, the real challenge that they will face in the future. So this is the Campus Merdeka principle. Transforming from prescriptive learning, where students learn in a very silo departments. In my time, if I study civil engineering, there's no way for me to learn about finance. There's no way for me to learn about sociology. There's no way for me to learn about marketing. So now students can have a flexible but meaningful learning. Of course, they need to have the good foundations, that the 5 semesters that we put them in the classroom, in the laboratory, in doing the foundations. But 3 semesters out of that 8 semesters, they can choose any which combinations they want to do. So this is the Campus Merdeka policy that has been ongoing for 3 years now. Slide. And we have, in principle, 9 off-campus activities. The 2 semesters students can spend out of campus can be student exchange to give them more agility to make friends globally. We sent 2,000 students this year abroad, including to the Netherlands, to Europe, to UK, to Asian universities, to Australia, to United States, to South America, to Canada. So we sent 2,000 students for 1 semester abroad. And in addition to that, about 20,000 students are sent between province in Indonesia, like Erasmus Mundus program. So that is one, student exchange. So we would love to see the student exchange through ISMA, Indonesia International Student Mobility Award, to accelerate the mobility between students from Indonesia to Europe. If I look at the white paper of the European Union on higher education, one of the highlighted program is student mobility from Europe to every place in the world. So we want to work together with the Netherlands in this case to accelerate student mobility both directions. Second, internships. Students can spend 1 semester in whatever fields they want to be when they graduated. Students can spend internship in industries, which is very common, but not. Student can learn something that is not yet available in the curriculum. For instance, machine learning. Perhaps it's not yet there in his university or her university, but she can learn for 1 full semester with Google, for instance. We have an academy with Google. It's called Bangkit. And it teaches students about machine learning, deep learning, cloud computing, Android programming for 900 hours. So full semesters, 20 credit unit. And it is not only learning the knowledge, but also project-based. And the project is based on industrial need. We start with 300 students in the first year in 2020. Now, every year, Google took 9,000 students. We teach them on machine learning, Android programming, cloud computing. And many of these graduates are very high in demand by the industries. So those are micro credentials. We also entrepreneurships. In my time, in the old days, if students want to make a startup, the possibilities are only 2. He succeed in creating a startup, but drop out from university because there's no way for him to start up, but at the same time do homework, come to the classroom. Why don't we make that as part of the degree? So we make this entrepreneurship program 1 semester off campus, mentored by professionals, by coach from the venture capitals, from accelerator, business accelerator, to let's make him, her, to be an entrepreneur when they graduated. So when they graduate, they already have a company or work with a group of students, so entrepreneurships. This also, we start the entrepreneurship last year, about 11,000 students already take this track. And also community empowerment, like in farming, how to bring smart farming into the farmers in remote places, and also research. Students can spend 1 semester joining the expeditions, with the vessels or go to the rainforest and many things. So these are very rich activities that students can join 1 full semester, and many of our students take this 1 full year, not only 1 semester, because at Dikti, at my office, we also take 20 student intern. Most of them already take the same, the Campus Merdeka program the previous semester. When I ask them, which you prefer? You prefer in your university, in the classroom, or here? All of them say, this is what we are looking for. We don't bother to go to our classroom back. So this is something that we transform our university to be more agile, to be more adaptive, to be more future-proof.
Yeah.
Slide. I ran out of time, I know. Yeah, so we also transform the institution, the universities, to fit with these transformations. We want university to become agile. So the focus will be on student employability, graduate employability should be the focus of the university. So we send students out. We also send professors out of the university to work with industries. And at the same time, we bring professionals to the classroom to make the classroom to become more problem-based, project-based learning, case-based learning based on industrial cases. And also to make international collaborations between our programs. So this is to encourage our universities to partners with partner globally. Slide. Slide. This is okay. So this is, we have a flagship program for this Campus Merdeka program, because there are two ways in implementing this Campus Merdeka program. One is nationally. We design the project, we work with industries, we work with partners to prepare this project. At the same time, we also encourage university to develop their own program for the students. Why we do it also nationally? Because if we only let the university to do that, it might take 10 years to really start the transformations, one. And secondly, if we ask university to partner with industries, industry will select only the best university, not the rest. So we offer this nationally to give opportunity for students for all those 4,000 institutions to take part and develop their talents through these many programs. Slide. And slide, yeah. In the past 3 years, up till this year, already 320,000 students we sent out of their campus. We kicked them out of the campus, and slide, 600,000 students by universities, by their own institutions. So the institution also developed their Campus Merdeka program. We give university incentive. We give them incentive. If they do this program, we give them incentive. We measure the performance indicator, and we, give grants according to number of activities of number of students they can send out of campus. Slide. Yeah, so those are the programs. Slide. And many programs are related to climate change, for instance, on addressing the issues of renewable energy, on conservations of wetland, mangrove. So there are so diverse activities that will be the future economy or the future professions of our students. So we open that. And again, this is not only 1 or 2 day activities, it's one full semester activities. So it can be very immersive, very intensive activities on sustainable farming, on sustainable economy, even on traditional market, how to transform traditional market to become more hygienic, to be more friendly with digital technology and many things. Slide. And also, well, okay, slide again. Yeah, next. So this is just to, yeah, so this is something that I would like to share with you. Project-based learning, where students spend intern in industries. At the same time, university and industry do research. Last year, Indonesia hosted the G20, and the president in the early 2022 declared that during the G20, all transportation should be electric vehicle. At the time, well, the ministers of transportations wants to import electric buses. I told him, Pak Menteri, can we make that by university and industries? Can you do that in 10 months? I said, yes, we can. So we collaborate with the university and industries to develop this electric bus from zero, from scratch. Within 10 months, we produced 27 buses and been tested, safe, and we deliver that for the G20. 27 buses, electric buses, made by 300 students and 15 lecturers with the industries. And the TKDN, the local contents, is up to 80%. So this is something that we can deliver by collaboration between industry and university, and through Campus Merdeka and collaboration between university and industry. How to collaborate between university and industries? We give incentives. This slide, next slide, is called KEDAREKA. KEDAREKA is matching fund, open innovations. Collaboration between university and industry is something that is still very difficult in Indonesia, unlike in developed countries where industries already need research and university are there to do research for industries. In Indonesia, this is still not the case. So we have to attract industries to invest in R&D. How we do that? There are already many incentives like triple tax deduction for any money spent on research and development, but it doesn't take off. So we put incentive in the form of matching fund. If industry invests, say, 1 billion rupiah for R&D, we double that amount from government purse. Like the electric bus, the government invests about 27 billion rupiah, and the industry put 27 billion rupiah, so we have more than 50 billion rupiah to develop that buses. So this is very simple. You put money, we put money, work together. The IPR and the rest you can discuss between university and industries. You agree? So be it, go on. This is very simple scheme, and we open this not only for partnering nationally, but also globally. We have partnered with Japan, with Australia for research collaborations on plastic waste, for instance. Slide. Yeah, so these are 5 priorities. Green economy, which everyone should move toward. Very broad base and also multidisciplinary. Blue economy, given Indonesia 75% of the area are water. Digital economy, healthcare, health and medical devices, to be more precise. Tourism with 17,000 islands in Indonesia, it's a big potential for the future, especially sustainable tourism. Slide. Yeah, but still dominant on green economy, digital economy, and health. Still very limited on blue economy and tourism. Slide. So we put about 500 billion rupiah for this matching fund. And we see, I just get this data yesterday. This is from the Global Innovation Index. One of the parameters in the Global Innovation Index is university-industry collaborations. 3 years ago, Indonesian position in terms of university-industry partnerships is at position 35 globally. And I checked the data yesterday, now 5 globally. Number 5 in terms of university and industry partnerships. We still don't know if this is the impact of the Campus Merdeka, of the KEDAREKA, the matching fund, but this is the report I get from the Global Innovation Index. So it's a jump in terms of university and industry partnerships. Slide. Yeah, so we are still 61 in Global Innovation Index, but on that specific point, university industry partnerships, we are number 5. Slide. Yeah, and we develop our systems for strengthening research and development through integrated information system through SINTA. Faiz can discuss about that tomorrow. This link to many research funding agencies as well as to publications. We also collaborate with like Scopus, Google Scholars to index publications as well as patents. And we also have national repository at Garuda. So all research publications we can find in Garuda. Slide. And these are the core of my presentations. Collaboration opportunities. Sorry, the last minute is the most important thing. One, we welcome world-class university. So if any Dutch university want to open branch campus in Indonesia, most welcome. You can partner with our university or you can stand alone. Already 2 universities from Australia established their branch campus in Indonesia. Second, university collaborations, so consortium. So this is something that we encourage our university to partner in groups, to work together toward a certain goals, say mangrove conservations, or carbon capture, or whatever we have a common interest. Let's make a consortium to work together on that. Online learning, we can simply do that. We can exchange lectures, joint research and publications. We can co-fund all those activities. Student and staff exchange, those are also very much welcome. Curriculum development, we actually encourage double degree. So for bachelor, 2 years in Indonesia, 2 years in the Netherlands, and vice versa. Masters, 1 year in Indonesia, 1 year in the Netherlands. We can do that, and we can co-fund we can provide scholarship for the students. And sabbatical leave for professors, post directions, micro-credentials, and also joint research facilities. We can have research facilities in the rainforest. We can have research facilities for deep oceans. We can have research facilities on the megalithics, artifacts, or whatever. Also internship in industry. If up to this year, all the internship for Campus Merdeka is in country, we will open international internship for next year. We start it with some country in Eastern Europe, but we want to extend that further to other countries. And any other academic activities. We encourage, especially those join double degree, we develop curriculum together, and also university consortium to strengthen our research collaborations, not only at research level, but also down to the student activities. Thank you very much. Slide is the closing. Yeah, so I think together we can make everything better. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Pak Nizam. So the transformation of universities are partly conducted in Indonesia through emancipated learning, and then the improvement of research environment, or research ecosystem, and also the integrated system to make to lessen the bureaucratic hurdles. Thank you very much. Now over to Professor Margot. Margot, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Sorry about the delay, Margot. Now over to
Okay,
you.
I hope the
screen
sound
yours.
the sound quality is okay.
Yep. Very
Okay,
clear.
great.
Thank you.
And I hope that somebody is managing my slides. Wonderful, thank you. Well then, good. In the Netherlands, it's good morning. Dear Professor Nizam and Professor Edegiri Rahman, dear colleagues, moderators and guests, it is a pleasure to speak at the opening of this week of Indonesia Netherlands Education and Research, already the 4th edition of WINNER. Over these next few days, WINNER will host presentations of research results on a range of different topics, and it will stage discussions about challenges in research systems, such as the challenge of open science, and recognizing and rewarding researchers for all the different tasks they do beyond research. What the sessions have in common links them to the theme of this year's WINNER, enhancing knowledge connectivity for regional impact. And I'm glad that to make knowledge connectivity happen, I have to depend now on digital connectivity, but it works. And all these sessions will address topics that go beyond our borders, and that we can only solve by working together. Next slide, please. Besides the intensive cooperation between Indonesian and Dutch universities of applied sciences and research institutes, We have been fortunate to see funding by the Dutch government for research cooperation with Indonesia throughout the years since the 1970s, channeled through the Dutch Research Council, NWO, but also through the Netherlands Academy of Sciences. And cooperation happens across the entire knowledge chain, from fundamental and applied research in academia to practice-oriented research at the universities of applied sciences. And we see this cooperation touching on themes that are important to both our countries, but also important to our regions and indeed the world, such as climate change, renewable energy transition, or public health threats. In the joint program between NWO and KemendikBud, we have funded research under the theme of resilient societies, with links to the Sustainable Development Goals, as well as our national research agendas. This has resulted in 13 joint projects, with 2 more to be awarded this year on a wide variety of themes, from access to justice to energy transition, and from antimicrobial resistance in the poultry chain to sustainable urban spaces. And if you're curious, these particular 4 projects are all participating in this year's winner. So you are bound to hear more about these projects in the next few days. Through the Embassy Science Fellowship, we have also been able to give researchers the opportunity to gain experience in the diplomatic world between our countries and to use their expertise to contribute to the work of the embassy in Jakarta. Last year, the very first Embassy Science Fellow based at the Dutch Embassy in Jakarta wrote a report on the potential for cooperation between Indonesia, the Netherlands, and countries in Africa, which can hopefully broaden and reinforce our knowledge connectivity even further. And this year, the new fellow, Dr. Harold Maat, will look into digital care transformation and innovation. The executive board of NWO has also last week approved a call for research on museum collections with a colonial context. And we were very grateful to work with BRIN in the agenda setting and scoping for this call. And we are looking forward to continuing to work with BRIN in this call. And of course, we had a meeting of the Global Research Council in May, where BRIN and NWO, as well as funders from over the entire world, met to discuss the contribution of research funders for research on climate change and innovative methods in recognizing and rewarding researchers. Because how we do research and how we recognize and reward researchers is evidently something that we should discuss not only nationally, but also in our regions and in global fora. NWO is also very pleased with the creation of the Netherlands Knowledge House, where knowledge institutions in the Netherlands connect with each other and which also provides an entrance for Indonesian universities from across the country to connect with Dutch researchers. Often, for greater knowledge connectivity in regions outside national borders, it is important to also work on knowledge connectivity between different regions within a country. The next slide, please. We have recently adopted a new internationalization strategy at the Dutch Research Council, where we want to focus on 3 main aspects. We want to promote a healthy global research culture, which includes attention to aspects such as knowledge security, but also to aspects of research fairness and of fairness in research assessments. We want to facilitate bottom-up international collaboration through, for example, the Money Follows Cooperation module, which is a way to involve researchers from outside the Netherlands in almost all NWO programs, and science diplomacy for new promising cooperations. And of course, there is also third point, joint programming with our international partners, which includes creating more possibilities in our national research agenda and in the Knowledge and Innovation Covenant programs for international programming with partners like Kemendikbud and BRIN. In this new strategy, next slide please, we want to focus on cooperating with partners on themes where research cooperation between our two countries can make a real difference. Think of topics like climate change or blue and green economies. These are topics that one country cannot solve alone, and where Indonesia and the Netherlands both face challenges where we can learn from each other. But these challenges, of course, do not stop at our borders. And keeping that in mind, it is interesting to consider the broader impact of the results of the research that we fund bilaterally. Not only the impact to different regions within the Netherlands and within Indonesia, but also the wider impact to the wider European Union and to Southeast Asia. At NWO, for example, the module Money Follows Cooperation makes it possible to involve expertise from other countries in projects funded by NWO. It is also important to keep working together bilaterally and with other researchers and funders globally on topics that promote a healthy global research culture, on issues such as how we recognize and reward researchers, and on topics like open science. I am glad to see that both of these are on the agenda for this fourth edition of Winner NWO, but also a lot of Dutch knowledge institutions also work, for example, with the Coalition for Advancing Research Assessment on Recognition and Reward. And we would love to work with Indonesia there as well. Our NWO strategy for 2023 to 2026 is called Science Works. We need to keep working on a research system that optimally facilitates innovation and knowledge development. And I'm really interested to discuss how we can work together in this area today and during the rest of Winter 2023. Wishing all of you a very successful event. Thank you.
To both Professor Nizam and Professor Wijnen for your very valuable insights. I made a short summary of all this wealth and insights on the progress that has been made in the collaboration between the Netherlands and Indonesia. I saw that Indonesia is working on emancipated learning in its campus Merdeka to stimulate the unique talents of students to have the freedom to choose between the multiple pathways of academic collaboration. And developments go at full speed, starting where 100 to 200 years ago, we were still talking about industrial development. We are now looking at issues such as the application of artificial intelligence and the development of research at a real unprecedented pace. Quite interesting to hear also is that it's not only about acquiring knowledge and insight, but really to have a campus of life, a real experience in real life, where there's the opportunity to have flexible and meaningful learning. For only for the last year already more than 2,000 students who have studied abroad. And from the side of the Netherlands, we are of course very, very happy to welcome so many students from Indonesia that bring back their knowledge, but also enrich the knowledge of our researchers and students and universities. Which is true for the Netherlands as well as for the European Union, where student mobility is an important priority as well. I understood that there's a lot of new activities going on, ranging from the distribution of Coca-Cola to sustainable farming, issues as the green, blue, digital economy, focus on healthcare, focus on tourism, issues that are of large importance to the Indonesia. And that this results in Indonesia getting higher ranked on the Global Innovation Index, which is, I think, a remarkable achievement. Professor Wijnen also shared her valuable insights about the importance of research collaboration at all levels, so not only academic research, but also vocational training, and this link between research and the impact on societies that we live in and that we share. We have shared agendas on the Sustainable Development Goals, on resilient societies, and a beautiful example of our strengthened collaboration are, for example, the Embassy Science Fellows, which is something that also from the part of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs we very strongly endorse. And quite interesting also examples of research collaboration on museum collections, where we can go a level deeper and see how our shared experience and shared histories can form a basis for the future. There's so much more to say, and I'm happy to be able to thank you both for your valuable contributions. Unfortunately, we cannot do the question and answer session because we have run a little bit out of time. But once again, to both Professor Nizam and Professor Wijnen, thank you very, very much for your valuable contributions. And we hope to stay in touch with you for the much longer future. Having said that, I would also like to introduce the next speaker, the first keynote speaker of today, which is Professor Jeroen de Ridder, who is present here in the studio in The Hague. Jeroen, welcome.
Thank you so much.
I will introduce you shortly and then give the floor to you. Professor Jeroen de Ridder is working on intellectual audits. The Young Academy has called for intellectual audits to increase transparency and for guidelines governing responsible research funding. There has been a huge increase in external research funding in the Netherlands, in the Dutch research landscape in recent decades, which is a good thing in itself. This has shifted the focus to research that delivers quick results for government and for industries. It also comes with a challenge to generate new research questions and to anticipate tomorrow's issues. This task and consequently positive academic freedom, the freedom of researchers to choose what research they undertake and for what purpose, are under threat. According to the Young Academy in its report, Space to Think, an analysis of structural threats to academic freedom and integrity. According to the Young Academy, we currently know very little about the scale of external funding flows in the Dutch academia and their impact on disciplines and research groups, making it impossible to develop informed policies. Public knowledge institutions play a major role in ensuring the right balance between fundamental, curiosity-driven, and problem-solving research. The role also involves creating, shaping, and monitoring positive academic research. That is an important topic to engage with. Jeroen de Ridder, we're looking forward to learning more from your valuable insights on this. The floor is yours.
Right. Thank you very much. And thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. You've almost summarized my entire presentation.
Sorry for that.
So it is my pleasure and quite an honor to be able to address this distinguished audience of colleagues, policymakers, and officials from Indonesia and the Netherlands. And as the introduction said, I would like to share with you some insights from a recent report that the Dutch Young Academy wrote on the topic of academic freedom and research integrity. So I'll summarize the main findings and recommendations from the report, and I'll start with giving you a bit of background on what moved us to write this report, to start inquiring this topic of external funding and its influence on academic freedom and research integrity. So in the Netherlands, there have been quite fierce debates on whether or not universities should keep on collaborating with the fossil fuel industry. Students occupied university buildings over the past years at a number of different universities, and this has led at least some universities, the VU University in Amsterdam and also the University of Amsterdam, to now stop or put on hold all collaborations, research collaborations with the fossil fuel industry, because the concern is that these industries aren't doing enough to help sustainability. In other cases, there are similar situations abroad. So, for instance, the University of Oxford hosts a large research institute into internet ethics, which is mainly funded by Google. Now, you might wonder whether that is such a wonderful idea. Do we really want Google to fund research into research ethics? There are obvious conflicts of interest there. Similarly, a case in the Netherlands where the tax administration and the big four accounting firms covertly sponsored professorships in law, in financial and international law. Again, maybe this is fine, but there are clear risks here of conflicts of interest. There are further cases. So a university, a Center for Human Rights at VU University that was sponsored by China. Collaboration between VU University in Amsterdam and the University of Amsterdam with Huawei, the Chinese tech giant. Again, maybe this is wonderful because there's more money for research, but again, there's a clear risk of conflicts of interest. So all of these cases, and I could multiply examples, but they led us to think about what is external funding doing to research, to the research agenda of universities and of entire disciplines. Now, the background, very briefly to this, is that since the 1980s in the Netherlands, we've seen the rise of what has been called entrepreneurial universities. So universities that have to find their own external funding or more external funding in order to do more research, to be able to do more research. And a prime reason for that was national policy, which decided to not to defund universities, but to decouple funding for research from funding for education. So as the numbers of students grew and the numbers of staff grew to teach these students, the funding for research hasn't kept up. So that basically means that more professors are basically doing a lot more teaching because there isn't enough funding for research, which then drove universities to seek for external sources of funding. Now, there's already been a lot of interest for what this might do to individual researchers or individual research teams. I mean, what happens when you sign a contract with an external funder to pay for your research? Doesn't that give rise to conflicts of interest? And what about clauses that ask you to keep your research results secret for a period of time? Are those acceptable? So all of these questions have received a lot of attention in the literature on research integrity. But what struck us is that there hasn't been a lot of interest and a lot of research into what this is doing at the systemic or the structural level. So how this is affecting not only individual researchers and teams, but entire universities, entire disciplines. So this is something we wanted to look at in particular. And one of our concerns in the background was that all this external funding might draw the research agenda of universities and of entire disciplines in a certain direction, namely the direction of more thematic, applied research, short-term problem-solving research, rather than fundamental or curiosity-driven or basic research. And also research that sort of questions the status quo in society. We've called this critical research. So certainly in the social sciences and the humanities, traditionally, one of the things that these disciplines sought to do was to question the status quo in society, to ask critical questions about, is the way we've ordered our societies the right way? And you might imagine that when powerful interests in society, such as big corporations, are funding research, they might not be all that interested in changing the status quo. So the question for us was, what is all this research funding from external sources doing to the system as a whole? Now, initially, we were, maybe naively, but we were optimistic about our ability to find more information and to give a detailed, fine-grained analysis of where the different money streams were coming from and where they were going and how they were affecting different universities and disciplines. But this, it turned out, was simply impossible. So we interviewed lots of people, we contacted universities, but one of the things that we quickly found out that there is a huge lack of transparency when it comes to external funding streams. So there are sort of large aggregate numbers, but nobody could tell us where this money was going, how it was affecting specific disciplines, or where most of the money was going in terms of different departments or different research units within a university, research institutes. So this meant that we simply couldn't answer our initial questions. But of course, this struck us as a problem. So we think one of the things that is a clear issue here, a clear problem, is this lack of transparency at the aggregate level. So we don't have a clear view of where external money is going and whether certain areas, certain disciplines are benefiting from all this external funding in a disproportionate way. Another issue, and this is, I guess, made obvious by the cases that I mentioned briefly before, is that a lot of these cases of external funding aren't always evaluated and assessed with due diligence. I mean, having a human rights research center funded by the Chinese government seems like a pretty obvious no-go. But nonetheless, this was a center that had existed for years. So here are our key recommendations. So what should be done about this? Well, the first one, I think, is obvious after what I've said so far. We think it is key for universities to increase transparency on where external money is coming from and where it is going. And not just at the very large sort of national aggregate level, but in a more fine-grained way. When we look at universities and the different faculties and departments and the research institutes within them, different disciplines, we need to know where money is coming from and who is benefiting from it. Not to name and shame people, obviously, but to get a sense of where this money is going and who is benefiting from it and what that might mean for the kinds of research that are being done. And once we have this transparency, we can then think about whether the situation we have is actually a desirable, a good situation. So to that purpose, we recommend that universities do what we call intellectual audits. So to think about where all this money is going and whether it's making possible the kinds of research that we want done. So is there enough money for fundamental basic research, curiosity-driven research, or is most of the money going to thematic applied research? Is there enough money for research that is critical of the status quo, that tries to ask new questions and think about what sort of society we want? And with that transparency, it should become possible to think more effectively about this question. And then the third recommendation is that we sort of broaden the discussion from responsible research practices at the individual level to responsible research funding practices at the collective level. So there's been a lot of attention for individual responsible research, so good methodology, being transparent about your data, about your analyses, open science, individual conflicts of interest. But we also need to think about what we as a society or what we as universities want in terms of research funding. Do we really find it acceptable to collaborate with the fossil fuel industry on a large scale or not? And if not, what does that mean for the kinds of research questions and priorities that we set? So we need a broader discussion among universities, administrators, government about what sorts of research funding we think is acceptable. So if you're interested in reading more about this, the full report is available at the Young Academy website. The link is there on the slide. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your attention and leave it at this.
Thank you very much, Jeroen. It's very, very eye-opening on this, critical view of external funding, how it can change. How it can threaten academic freedom and also create systemic and structural changes on the direction of the research. And thank you very much for sharing with us DYA suggestions on how to avert this. Now I'd like to introduce the second speaker, also from Young Academy, this time from Indonesia, Herlambang Wiratraman. Dr. Herlambang Wiratraman, can you take the stage with me? Dr. Herlambang Wiratraman is an assistant professor of constitutional law, Universitas Gadjah Mada, and also Secretary General of ALMI. And taking some points from Jeroen, Herlambang Wiratraman is going to elaborate on academic freedom. I'm not going to, explain more about this because Herlambang has got a lot to say about this. Herlambang, over to you.
Thank you, Effie. First of all, Excellencies, Pak Nizam, Prof. Nizam from Dirjen Dikti, and Ibu Yvonne from Embassy, Dutch Embassy, and also Nufik, Southeast Asia, Pak Peter, and also distinguished guests. For these presentations, I prepare only few slides, 4 slides precisely. And stick with the issue of the role of science and scientists in society, reflecting the challenge in Indonesia. Okay, next slide. There are 3 that I'm going to say in this keynote speech. The first one is about expecting issues. The second one is about space. And the third one is related to the challenge in realizing or implementing how the science can be promoted in a proper way. Talking about expectations, what is expected, what can realistically be offered, and which space is there for science. There are 3 points that I would like to mention. The first one is science as a main driver of human development, technology, and also as a major input to our understanding of the world around us. And of course, this is related to massive global shifts due to climate change and also humanity crisis. Talking about this, actually, I just put a report from NGOs. We need also, as an academic community in campuses, in higher educations, or other research institutions, we also reflecting the research not only produced by the universities but also NGOs. There are a very good NGOs producing research and can contribute to develop science itself, and we can collaborate with them. Therefore, talking about research like pulping Borneo, it seems to me that it's really critical that the university should also discuss on their findings. And I just attended a court session yesterday for 6 hours, providing expert testimony for Haris Azhar and Fathia. And yesterday actually was really discussing about research and science made by the NGOs collaboratively, and then those NGOs actually discussing the findings, and then under the legal system in Indonesia, they try to exclude the NGOs' findings on this science. So that's why we need to see this is comprehensively. The second one is about promote academic or scientific freedom. This is perhaps after listening the Young Academy or Jeroen mentioned, the frequency of talking about academic freedom is different between Netherlands and Indonesia. Anyway, I just continue with the third one. Science, the third one is science is about respecting unique expertise. Scientists are diverse and letting scientific results speak. Centralizing or disciplining means creating uncertainty and also, of course, neglecting inclusivity and trust. So that is what is that sort of like expectations to see critically about the situations. And how many of you aware with Surabaya Principles of Academic Freedom as an Indonesian scholars? Not many or even nobody. Okay, next slide. I just want to continue with this Surabaya Principles on Academic Freedom. It was initiated by numbers of academics as victims because they were targeted as scientists actually when they provide expert testimony in the court. Then thereafter, they got the case, legal case. For instance, we call it SLAP, yeah, strategic lawsuits against public participations, or they were criminalized, yeah, like Saiful Mahdi case in Banda Aceh, or yeah, there are several others. Actually, it was agreed in Surabaya due to the lack of standard setting in protecting academic freedom in Indonesia. Therefore, although we have academic freedom, kebebasan akademik, kebebasan mimbar akademik, and otonomi dan otonomi keilmuan, scientific autonomy, but the fact is the standard setting of that academic freedom is weak, or even cannot be implemented clearly. Therefore, we start with principles of academic freedom. Why these principles is really matters for us? First, if there is a legal case, then we can bring these principles before the court. We can use this to advocate in the front of, for instance, like those who are having policy making in the process of, for instance, like once I had experience promoting these principles, explaining this to Mahfud MD when we bring the case to the president for Saiful Mahdi case due to cyber defamation, because he criticized internally at the university based on the UN general comment in interpreting right to educations, criticizing the internal university actually as a part of academic freedom. That is a clear standard setting. But yeah, step by step, they just aware, including the minister. Therefore, there was a legal history in Indonesia. For the second time, academics can be released or acquitted from the jail due to the adoption of Surabaya principles on academic freedom. So that's an example. The other example, for instance, two professors from Institute of Pertanian Bogor, Agriculture Bogor, also winning the case in the court because after providing the expert testimonies, both of them were targeted for lawsuits and asked the court for fine until 3 billions rupiahs. I don't know how much in US dollars. Okay, next slide. So after having that, of course, still a challenge, but let me try to put this into the development stage. Yeah, can scientists develop freely, or are they circumscribed through rules, laws, funding lines, etc., that are governmental and societally driven? IP, Indonesian Academy of Science, and also ALMI, Indonesian Young Academy of Science, actually initiated Science 45 Science, and it's really important or key for developing agenda in the future, trying to step by step promoting what should be done for this country in order to promote science in the future. And then the second one, scientists need to challenge the accepted paradigms. That is uneasy situations, of course. And our task is to create possibilities to provide new arguments and channeling them into meaningful policies. So that's why we have science and policy in our strategic tasks in ALMI. And the third one, laws and rules are there for overarching matters with the goal of boosting science at large. And of course, we appreciate also the development of the 26th of episode of emancipated learning, as introduced by Professor Nizam, transformation of national standard and accreditation for higher educations, created by the Minister of Education, Culture, Research, and Technology. Of course, we need to see the implementation for that. And of course, this is also possible for bringing the strategy to transform into the real situations, especially promoting how, for instance, like for lecturer or university cannot be trapped into the very much bureaucratizations in their works. And also initiating collaborative move, expanding strategic networks, for instance, like making a quite strategic network with those Academy of Sciences or young scientists, young Academy of Science in Asia Pacific, for instance, like last week. I just came back from Kuala Lumpur in order to promote scientific freedom. After 2 days discussion, there was no specific discussion on scientific freedom. So that's why finally, before closing the sessions, the scientific freedom has been adopted, and I'm very happy back to Indonesia to promote this in Asia Pacific. Next slide. So the last questions, actually, what should be the enabling structures financially, educationally, to foster new generations of educators and researchers, who feel free and enabled to explore. Of course, the serious or the most challenge in Indonesia, especially looking at the universities, actually feudal system. We need to diminish feudal system at academic sphere. And also, we need also to transform academic integrity. I'm joining with Jeron before talking about research integrity. While academic integrity is not merely about research, this is more than that in management and so on. The bureaucratizations in their avenues, because this is still a challenge, either at higher education institutions, independent think tanks, research institutes, etc. The third one is the state should be proactive in promoting and ensuring academic freedom at large. I feel that Kampus Merdeka actually does not promote academic freedom in clear way. Perhaps this should be more elaborated. The fourth one, universities and academic institutions promote social justice and human rights, ensure scientific advancement, and model democratic progress. And the last one, strengthen university autonomy and reduce the risk of corruption in higher education institutions, and bring justice avenues for protecting academia. Why we also need to speak about university autonomy? Because this is also a part of international human rights law as a standard setting, because based on the interpretations of right to education, General Comment 34 produced by United Nations informed in paragraph 40 mentioning about university autonomy in order to promote academic freedom. Therefore, we need that also for ensuring the future science in Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's very enlightening. Thank you very much. Yeah, we definitely need academic freedom in order to flourish as academics and also to promote, science, the development of sciences and knowledge. Right. I'd like to offer the floor to audience if you have one burning question. We're running out of time, but we still have a little bit of time if you have one burning question. Anyone in the studio, in Jakarta here, has any question? To either Jeroen or to Herlambang? If not, I would like to ask Herlambang if you have any comment. How do you connect it? Of course, the Netherlands and Indonesia are different. You mentioned in the very beginning that, the intensity of talking about academic freedom in the Netherlands and Indonesia is different. But then, how can we, for example, work with the Netherlands in order to promote this academic freedom?
Good point. Thank you.
Yeah.
First, in order to promote collaborations, I suggest to provide a clear settlement, especially dealing with the academic freedom. First, how come you will build a science without considering scientific or academic freedom for your partner? Yeah. For instance, like I still remember one university due to really violence, especially against women, and many victims actually there. But the university would like to collaborate with one partner in Netherlands, and then I just remind them in my partner in Netherlands, are you serious to do this collaboration with this particular university, which really do not consider with the how to protect women's rights, for instance, or talking about PERSMA at that time, student journalism, also part of the academic freedom, because according to paragraph 38, we consider standard setting, right? According to paragraph 38 mentions that students also have rights and also freedom in this scheme of academic freedom. Therefore, if there is also a tax to student press journalism, this is also part of academic freedom you need to consider. Second, considering about these collaborations, I think that will be crucial for us, yeah, to bring the really strategic. I agree with Jeron before, not merely curiosity or individually, but also bringing the structural or more systemic approach for collaborations, especially dealing with humanity crisis or related to climate justice issues. We are really facing these crucial situations in crucial time. So at least two that I can suggest.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for Jeroen and also Head Lambang. Please join me in thanking both these young scientists from Indonesia and the Netherlands. Thank you very much. Head Lambang, you can return to your post. And I'd like to introduce the next session, which is interactive discussion on practical implementation of research collaboration between Indonesia and the Netherlands on the one hand and rewards and recognition on the other. So moving forward to this, we have our panelists today. Some of them join me here in Jakarta. The first is Directors of Technology, Research and Community Service, KemendikbudRistek, Professor Dr. Insinyur M. Faiz Shuaib. Please, Pak Faiz, you can join me on stage. And then the second is Director of Learning and Student Affairs, KemendikbudRistek, Ibu Dr. Sri Suning Kusumawardani. Please, Ibu, you can join us on the stage. Yeah. Silakan, Ibu. And the third is Director of Resources, KemendikbudRistek, Dr. M. Sofwan Effendi, who will be joining us online because he's currently in Aceh. Pak Sofwan, can you hear us?
Hello, good evening. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Good evening.
Okay. And also Dr. Benny Bandanajaya, Director for Academic Higher Vocational Education, KemendikbudRistek. Bapak, please join us on stage. And then the fifth is Program Manager, Expert National Rewards and Recognition Program, University of the Netherlands, UNL, Kim Huipen, who's joining us online. Kim, are you there? Hi, Kim. And then...
Yes, she's here. I'm here.
Oh, yeah, great, thank you. And then Policy Officer and Coordinator of the Collaboration between NWO and Indonesia, Ms. Maika Speakerman, who's in Jakarta with us. Maika. And rejoining us from the Netherlands, Jeroen de Ridder, Professor of Political Epistemology at VU Amsterdam and Professor of Christian Philosophy at University of Groningen. De Jong Academy is also a member of the Jong Academy, who's joining us from The Hague. Hi, Jeroen, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. My colleague Sarah will introduce the key questions before we give everyone 5 minutes to introduce their points. Please, Sarah.
Yes, thank you very much again, Avi. And it's quite interesting to have such a rich panel together with some participants here in the Netherlands and the others in Indonesia. I have 2 questions for you to discuss amongst yourselves. The first one is which future programs will be in place concerning research collaboration between the Netherlands and Indonesia, and how can researchers tap into these opportunities? That's question number 1. Then question number 2 is about recognition and rewards. How to find a balance between the different tasks of academics. How are policies on rewards and recognition implemented in both Indonesia and in the Netherlands? So these will be the 2 guiding questions for the panel ahead of us. Okay. I will give the floor again to you, Avi, so you can start discussing these questions.
All right, thank you. Maybe we should alternate between Indonesia and the Netherlands, right? Okay. Maybe the first floor I would give to Prof. Faiz to give like 5 minutes remarks on, based on your capacity on how to respond to this question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, of course, as Pak Nizam said, that in Indonesia we have a lot of resources concerning research in universities. We have plenty of university with very diverse spectrum, from small university until world-class university. We also have researcher. We have lecture in university from wide spectrum also, about 320,000 lecturers in Indonesia. So of course we have to how to recognize them. In Indonesia, we know that the obligation of lecture is there's 3 obligations, education, to educate the student, also to doing research, and also how to convey the research product and also the student to the community, which we call what's community services. So of course, for recognition, we now develop such kind of how to recognize the lecture work in campus. We had such kind of how to appoint each work of the campus, of the lecture, for lecturer, for research, etc. And now we develop such kind of system to how to record the work of the lecture through Indonesia like that. So regarding the research, we have many schemes of research, and every year what we call regarding the track record and the qualification of the lecturer, we have many schemes of research for basic research, fundamental research, for applied research, research for development, and also we lot emphasizing for research collaboration among the university lecturer, and of course with the partner from the foreign university. I think like that. So now to engage the research in campus with the society and industry, like Pak Nizam said, that we have what we call matchmaking activity within campus and the society outside the campus, especially for industry. Yeah. We have matching fund, we have Kedereka, and also we have the program for what we call Kosa Bangsa for the community services, how the campus can fulfill the need of the society through the society to bring the innovation to solve the problem in society. We have the program what we call collaboration to solve the people problem like that. And now the campus project, maybe in these years, there is 2/3 campus social service project in 2/3 of the total county in the Indonesia. Well, you know, we have kabupaten. No, our pengabdian kepada masyarakat have the project in 343 kabupaten. As a whole, is about 440 kabupaten like that.
Okay.
So we do hope campus come to the society. Like
Yeah. So improvement of research environment can make the the academic environment more rewarding. Not only putting immense workload, but also rewarding at the same time, ya Pak. Okay, thank you very much. Maybe the next floor, the next remark, I will invite Pak Sofwan, who is online. Pak Sofwan.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much. My name is Sofwan. I am a Director of Resources and Directorate General Higher Education, Research and Technology. I have appointed the responsible to managing a professional career or competency career of the docent or lecturer in the university. As Faiz said, we have more than 300,000 docents around the government and the swasta. I mean government and under non-government, and how to manage the camp, how to manage the teacher to become knowledge, competencies, career, and to create. And current issue is how to become the professors. A professor, because Menpan has stable the new regulation about the professor, how to create. Currently, the process of becoming an academic professor goes through the several stages. In general, lecture proposed by the faculty as a professor must pass the academic assessment by the faculty senate, then be recommended by the University Professional Council or through selection by the University Academic Senate. After that, to meet the national standard, the professor must be recommended in a national assessment carried out by national reviewers or appointed by the Director General of Higher Education, Research and Technology. But in the futures, because the transforming of the policy transforming by KemendikbudRistek, prospective professor will not only fulfill the academic performance, but also must fulfill non-academic performance, such as being able to develop collegial profession, and also being able to contribute to improving the quality of the university in accordance with the expertise they have, and maintaining the synchronization between individual capacity and the interest of the university. We call the mission differentiation at university. So the professor, academic activities should synchronize by mission differentiation that university they teach there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You have answered the question on a recognition on how to become professor. With that note, I'd like to invite Kim Huipen on rewards and recognition program in the Netherlands, please.
Very much. Thank you. I'm very honored to be part of this panel and very happy to be speaking to you, to such a broad online and offline audience with highly renowned scholars, but also with young, talented academics. I think you really are the future of science. So very happy to speak to you. I'm program manager of a program we call Recognition and Rewards in the Netherlands, in which we work together with universities, university medical centers, research institutes, and research funders from the Netherlands. I like to present first why we think we need a change in recognition and rewards in academia. Well, what we've seen in academia is that there is a mismatch between what we deem important in academic work and where we reward our academic staff for. So what you see on this slide is a caliper. On the left-hand side, you see a very simple instrument measuring actually just research, while we know, and you already discussed that lecturers also in Indonesia have very different tasks. They also have tasks in education and in community services. We might call that impact on this visualization developed by Utrecht University. And within this scope of research, it's only there's a lot focus, or there was a lot focus on quantity, number of publications, for example, or the H-index or the journal impact factor. And with our program in the Netherlands, we hope to evolve to a much broader view on quality, to really look at education, research, impact, patient care in university, hospital, and leadership roles. And what you see, and that might be an answer to the question, one of the questions of this panel, is what you see on the left-hand side of the right-hand side caliper, is that you see a team with a lot of different qualities and a lot of different talents. And I really liked also the start of this dialogue this afternoon, that collaboration is central because world issues become more and more complex and we cannot solve them alone. So with our Room for Everyone's Talent position paper, we really wrote a similar sentences in the beginnings that shaping a more sustainable and resilient world, we need collaboration and we need very many different talents. And what you see on these visualizations are the 5 ambitions of our Room for Everyone's Talent program, and our position paper is that on the left-hand side above you see very different profiles of academics or scholars, and we hope to create different career paths for these different types of talents. We hope to create a more balance between the individual and the team within academia. We hope to focus more on the content, creativity of the work, and a little bit less on quantity or H-index. And we think that good leadership in academia is really crucial to make this change. And the 5th ambition is stimulating open science, which was really key to start with this program. So our ambition is that we aim for a healthy environment, an inspiring environment for all academic staff in the Netherlands, but actually science is global, so we cannot have only an ambition for the Netherlands. We should work together on a global level, and we're really happy with this agreement on reforming research assessment, which was published last year, which is now signed already by 627 signatories. And these are universities, these are research funders, these are organizations of scholars or of young scholars. And all together, we really think that there's an urgent need to reform existing ways of assessing research. And we will be working together, hopefully really on a global level. So this agreement, or the development of this agreement, was started in Europe, but we really hope with all signatories of this agreement that it will be a global movement in changing career assessment or changing research assessment. So I hope that this collaboration from the Netherlands and Indonesia will also be on this topic of recognition and rewards, and that we can move together. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kim. It's very enlightening. I think this is also, it has to be a global ambition of making the environment of research and education healthy, right? Not only the ambition of the Netherlands and also Indonesia. Maybe we would like to also learn from Pak Benny how this recognition and reward, and also about, how this, what Kim was saying about research and stuff unfolds in vocational studies. Yeah.
Thank you. I want to talk about the collaboration and also how we give rewards for our researchers. As you know that in Indonesia we have two types of university or higher education. The first one is university or institute is more academic, and we have another kind of institution or higher education. We call it polytechnic. The polytechnic is the institution of higher education under the Directorate General of Vocational Education. We are more applied, and I say that the research which doing by the lecturers from vocational higher education is types of applied research. For example, how to solve the problem in industry, how to make some product, how to collaborate with the industry to solve their problem. So in the policy of our research, we encourage that the researchers have to have partners wherever they can get the partners from industry, from another institution, from another higher education, for Indonesia, for maybe for another country. Is it okay if they can build the collaboration? It is the most important that we hope that they can make the collaboration for doing the research. As Nizam said, that we have a matching fund program. Matching fund program is also doing and implement in our directorate. So if they can get collaboration with the industry, we give them some kind of money, some kind of incentive, some kind of supporting funding. 1 billion, for example, 1 billion from the industry they can get, so we can give them 1 billion also. So they can doing the research for 2 billion, for example. And the other reward system that we built for our researchers, that we encourage that our researchers is propose their research to the hak kekayaan intellectual property rights. I think this is the highest level of the output of the research. They can have intellectual property right, such as patent. If they can get patent and they can implement the patent, the industry, to produce the product that they resulting from their research, we give them some incentive also. Free money as they can do for whatever they want for the money, because we want every researchers doing that, so we give them some rewards. So we hope that the rewards will encourage another researchers to pursue that they have to make the research not only to produce something, but make the product is have the property right. Yeah, I think that's all some example of our program, how to encourage the research for vocational education, that we hope that all researchers have a collaboration with industry, and also we encourage that the result of the research is produce also the property rights. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bapak. Micah, would you respond on, this what Pak Benny was saying is also an opportunity for collaboration between Indonesia and the Netherlands, especially in applied sciences.
I was thinking. Is it
Yeah.
working? Yes, it's working. Great. I was thinking that while you were saying it, because in the Netherlands we also, of course, have both what we call the research universities and the universities of applied sciences. So I think there is a great potential for us, especially with the universities of applied sciences, to maybe expand that collaboration, and not via NLWO, but via the NL Knowledge House, for example. At the moment, a living lab is being set up on energy transitions. And in the lead at the moment are 2 universities of applied sciences on the Dutch side. So I think Rizal and William will be telling more about that later on this week in Winner. And yeah, I've been hearing a lot of really interesting things in the discussion so far. I'm going to leave most of the recognition and reward to Kim, because NWO works very closely with the UNL on this topic in a coalition, also in the Coalition for the Advancement of Research Assessment, which we hope to also work in with Indonesia. And of course, NWO does look critically at its own research assessment procedures, how we can make those more inclusive and how we can better leave room in those for everyone's talents. In terms of the things that we are working on and the future opportunities for research cooperation between Indonesia and the Netherlands, I'm very pleased that this week we've started working together with Faiz and his team on the new call in our joint cooperation program. We've had this joint cooperation program since 2018, and I'm really happy with the way it is developing. So we're starting the new call. We've started it this week. And one of the things that we, for example, looked into also yesterday and today is how to also involve universities from outside Java in a way that we haven't been able to yet, to sort of also make the connections between not the usual suspects. So this is something that will be exciting about our new call as well. Besides that, like Margot mentioned, we have also just recently launched a call, for example, together with BRIN, on research into museum collections in the Netherlands that have a colonial context, that have been there from a colonial context, which we're very excited to be organizing a matchmaking with BRIN for, which we'll be announcing later, the date for that. And let me check my notes to make sure I am not forgetting anything. I'm not. I am mostly very curious, actually, also to hear the questions researchers have about how to engage with NWO and Kemendikbud and BRIN, for example, but also more broadly with Indonesia-Netherlands cooperation and where we can play a role in that.
Yeah. I'm going to save your questions to be discussed later. Right. Okay, now I'm going to go to Ibu Suning and save your room for later. Ibu Suning, where do students fit in this collaboration and also in the scheme of reward and recognition?
About recognition?
Yeah.
I think this focus on the
students. Yes.
How it's like intern program score converted to undergraduate recognition. Like that. If the programs included the emancipated learning activities, we have this program. By regulation, it ought to be recognized and converted to the credit. The university independently regulated the mechanism and procedure. Usually, the university has already prepared the course that the program in emancipated learning can be replaced.
That's very interesting. Yeah, so we can convert students' experience outside the university into credits as a recognition.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu. And last but not least, of course, Jeroen. Jeroen, you're still there, right? Okay.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What do you have to say about this reward and recognition?
Yeah.
What do you see as challenges, but also prospects?
Yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, I guess I'd like to follow up on Kim's remarks by offering sort of a view from the ground up on what this program is doing in Dutch universities. And one thing that has struck me, so on the one hand, I've been involved in the program or sort of learned about the program in my role at the Young Academy. But I'm also a professor who's teaching in a particular university in a small philosophy department. And it's interesting how like the vision as Kim presented it is sometimes very different from what we hear at the ground level as professors, as teachers, as researchers. So sometimes when people sort of learn about this new program, recognition and rewards, you get a very distorted vision of what is going on. So some people would say to me, oh, isn't that program about how now we're all required to do open science, or it means I can't publish in Nature anymore? So you get a very distorted view of what the program is about. So I wanted to emphasize how you need a realistic theory of change to get from the vision, the grand vision, to actual practice on the ground. And I think there are a number of things that we need to be aware of if we're going to make realistic changes. And one thing is simply, it's hard to overestimate the amount of times you need to explain the program again and again, over and over to different people. You just need to be repeating the same things all the time until, like, I mean, you're really bored with it, but it just takes a lot of time to get everyone to understand what the program is about. So repetition and patience, of course, is important. Another thing that I think is crucial and that I've noticed is that you need enthusiastic allies on the ground, as it were. You need to have individuals, professors in universities, department heads, deans, who believe in the vision, who are willing to implement it, who are willing to explain it to their people. So the importance of allies is crucial. Third thing, we need to be realistic about that we should expect resistance to change. There are a lot of people in the academic system who grew up in an old system that emphasized quantitative measures like age indices and impact factors. And these people became professors, full professors, because of that system. So they're not going to be super excited about changing that system, or at least many of them won't be. So we need to be aware of that and take that into account. And a final thing I think is crucial in getting to realistic change is you need to take some risks and do experiments. And that's going to be especially true if you're the first who's trying to make these changes. So you can't just expect to, draw up a blueprint and then roll it out and then expect that everything's going to happen as you planned it. That's never going to happen. If you're making changes, you need to be able to learn from your mistakes. You're going to make mistakes, and don't be afraid of that. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you very much. It's very interesting from a very wide array of, panelists here have given their thoughts of reward and recognition, and also about, especially how this unfolds in their areas of work. Okay, Sarah, do you have any burning question? I can see you there.
Well, not so much questions, but I find it interesting to hear that, in making a change, you also have to be aware of resistance and really engage with people that, have grown up in another period, and to keep them on board as well. And that in order to do so, we have to take risks and do experiments, which is, I think, a really nice message if you want to engage younger persons and really look for new opportunities. So thank you for that insightful contribution.
Okay.
You want to say something else?
Yeah,
Kim
we
wants
like
to add something.
We like not to say resistance, but people with worries. And I think it's a different perspective on the same behavior probably. But we really try to see the scientists that grew up in that other system as people with worries. And we should really, as a program, take these worries seriously. But also the worries young scientists might have, because for them it's actually they're in the most difficult phase, because they see a system which probably will change in the future, but they don't know yet how the new system will look like. So we really need to be conscious that it's a difficult phase for the young scholars.
Yeah, and maybe bridge the concerns of more experienced researchers with the concerns of younger, and also the ideas from both, and look at it from an opportunity perspective, which I think is key to our collaboration today as well. Yes, over to you, Avi.
Oh, thank you very much. Maybe I'm offering a closing statement to the panelists here in Jakarta, and also Pak Sofwan, if they have any closing statement. Anyone? Pak Faiz, please.
Okay, thank you. Regarding the research, our really problem is we have a lot of researchers in campus, but less of opportunity. One of the opportunity, of course, funding, this classical method. Because of that, our strategy is how to make the limited resources can be accessed for more researcher. Due to that, so our program and our strategy is how to make as much as possible the research must be done as collaborative. And also we spread the level of research disbursement related with the qualification and the track record of each campus. So he provided, for example, each campus, of course, they have speciality regarding the track record of the researcher, or also the resource of the place where the campus is it. So by their profile, so the research scheme will be delivered regarding the track record of the campus, and they have to make network with the other campus with the same what we call specific speciality of the research field, like that. For instance, limited budget, limited resource with the plenty of researchers. So our strategy, as much as possible, we doing with research collaboration. either inside the country and of course with the foreign partner like that.
Yeah. Again, collaboration is
Collaboration
very
is
central. In not only this year's winner, it's been our our key message that we've been promoting throughout the 4 years of winner so far. Collaborate, but at the same time, I also highlight that it is timely for us to also reflect. We've been hearing a lot of strategies about how to promote better environment for education and research, as well as collaboration in these 2 areas. Going back to the points of the keynote speakers mentioned that the way we do education, the way we do research need to also be reassessed in order to make the environment of education and research better, not only for the researchers, but also for the students, for better quality of education and research eventually. Okay, I guess since we're running out of time, and I see that everyone is tired from the whole day program today, and tomorrow, what are we going to have, Sarah?
Evie, tomorrow there will be another inspiring day. It will be fully online. Important to note, there will be 6 different streams covering 6 different topics. For example, urban livelihood or environmental challenges. And the 6th session will be based on the poster session. And then on Thursday, we will see you all back in the studio for another inspiring day. So let me finalize our part of the event today with thanking our participants here in the studio. Thank you very much, Kim. Thank you very much, Jeroen, for your valuable contributions. And over to you, Evie. Thank you for today, and I'm looking forward to see you again on Thursday.
Okay, I'd like to also thank you, the panelists in the studio, Pak Benny, Micah, Bu Suning, Pak Sofwan, Pak Faiz as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the audience who've been patiently, engaging with us. Thank you very much. Okay, so I'll see you I'll see you tomorrow online, and also the 3rd day offline again. Hopefully to meet you here, not here, but also Erasmus House. Yeah, at the Erasmus House. Thank you very much. Yeah, goodbye. See you tomorrow online.
Thank you.